So we're going back to the UK today, where Boris has once again kind of embarrassed himself in a few interviews. So he went on, I think the BBC had an interview with, and he was asked, "Why do you think there have been so many deaths in care homes? If you don't know, 1 in 20 care home residents have died in the UK. So literally 5% of people um, in care homes have died." So he was asked, like, "Why do you think this is?" And here, take a clip. It's quite funny.
One of the things that the crisis has shown is that we need to think about how we organise our social care package better, if you remember, and how we make sure that we look after people better who are in social care. I think we discovered too many care homes didn't really follow the procedures in the way that they could have, but we're learning lessons the whole time. One of the most important things is to fund them properly. So we're putting another 600 million into COVID compliant care homes, but we'll also be looking at ways to make sure that the care sector long term is properly organised and supported, so that that absolutely crucial part of people's lives is properly cared for.
Right. So obviously, just like in the classical Trumpian way, it's not his fault. It's the care home workers. It's the health workers. It's those that organize. It's the logistical people, right? It's never going to be his fault. It's not going to be, oh, actually, we closed down the care homes way too late. We hardly put enough restrictions on access until it was way too late. No, it's not our fault. It's all their fault because they just didn't listen to us. We were perfectly correct the entire time. Obviously, this isn't true, and the opposition leader Keir Starmer called him out in a hearing in Parliament, and ultimately he did actually accept responsibility, which is something that I don't think I've ever seen Trump do. So to be fair, he has indeed not, he didn't directly take responsibility for this exact thing, but he said everything that happened in Corona, I take responsibility for, which is like kind of like a vague way of saying it's our fault. Like on that specific point. So listen, at least there's something better that he's done than Trump. That's fun. But yeah, so he now also went on LBC, which is a radio show in the UK. I think it's one of the most popular political ones. I believe it is the most popular one. And he was asked about Black Lives Matter, if he would take a knee, and he said, "I don't believe in rhetoric. I believe in substantial change," which is, to be fair, like something the U.S. Senate should like take a look at and think like, maybe we should do that. But anyway, more to the point. This man literally spent like 3 weeks not getting anything done on Corona. Like he wouldn't even make it so that doctors could park in hospitals for free for like 2 weeks or 3 weeks into the pandemic. Now people are, during the middle of the pandemic, he was saying, "Oh guys, once you guys are all done with this pandemic, we'll give you all like a bunch of bonuses because you've worked overtime, you've been extremely stressed out, you've saved countless lives, and you've sacrificed pretty much your entire like April to now schedules to try and save people, and not go on holiday or anything like that." So he was talking about how he's gonna give them raises, but then now all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we can't afford it anymore. But they still can afford to help out the Saudis and killing him in their war against the Saudis. But anyway, let's not talk about that because that's worth it. But anyway, so he talks about how he's some all action guy, but this guy is like the lord of rhetoric. Not as symbolistic as Pelosi, I'd say, but he's definitely up there. Like this man, he clapped for the NHS for like 12 Thursdays in a row, and then now he doesn't want to give them a pay rise, and he does this whole like host 8 p.m. Number 10 press briefing, very much like the White House style, where he just like spits propaganda and misinformation and hopes people like eat it up. So yeah, I think it's funny how he's abandoned the NHS after they not only saved thousands of UK lives, but they've also saved his life, because remember, this guy was about to die like a month ago. But you know, I'm not surprised. This guy's the biggest flip of all, like one of the biggest flip flop career politicians I've seen in my life. Like this guy ran on Brexit 2 years after supporting staying in the EU. So, and not many people know that actually, but there you go. Turns out he's actually a Remainer, and he went to a European school in Brussels, and his dad worked for the EU. And for basically his entire life, he was pro-EU until the day came that the pro-Brexit movement had a bit of momentum, so he hopped on the bandwagon. So, there you go, guys.